There was paperwork early about the notice of the reassessment levy, but the paper that he's speaking about was directed to the county council on, you have 3 different options, 1, 2, and 3. The first option is to adopt the department's certified income tax rate and keep the levy frozen. And it tells you if this option is selected, the levy growth factor on operating funds would be 0 and the growth would be fully funded from income tax. Option 2 is to keep the income tax rate the same and keep the levy frozen. If this option is selected, the levy growth factor on operating funds would be 0 again, and the revenue raised from the income tax would be distributed in proportion of the levy freeze and calculated. And they give the example of the levy freeze amount in the county were $1 million and the income tax revenue was $750. Each unit within the county would then only have 75% of its growth funded within the income tax revenues. The remaining growth would not be funded for the current revenue, and the monies would then be distributed at the county stabilization fund in the certified distribution. And then option 3 is to keep the income tax rate the same, allow the levy growth to come from property taxes, and if this option is selected, then the levy growth factor on operating funds is 2.8, which is the state, and the revenue generated from the income tax prior year's growth. It may just be distributed from the county stabilization fund if the certified distribution for levy freeze is less than the levy freeze amount for the previous year. I don't think you want to get into a levy freeze, but that's county council's call as to what you want to generate from the actual Lowit money. But I don't think it should be a burden transferred down to property tax in option 3. That's my opinion, but it's you guys' call. They need to send, by November 1st, you guys need to make a submission of, put the county in better insurance, no, I take that back.
That's right.
I'm reading the front page and I don't see a date.
Yeah, November 1st deadline.
That's the deadline for the budget and to ensure on-time billing.
I think this is way too big to get a piece of paper today and make a decision.
Make a decision.
I think that you have to take every option and put numbers by it. I'm just giving you my personal opinion. I've never heard of this till right this second. I've never seen this thing, and I'm thinking like, holy mackerel.
I looked through it, they didn't give this to us last year.
I was gonna ask if there was a history.
No,
This
there's
is,
not.
I've never seen anything like this before. I even asked earlier, what's the levy freeze thing on the agenda, because I've never heard of it. I mean, I understand levy freeze, don't get me wrong, but golly, it looks like they're just asking you right now to make a decision, and I think that's hard to do.
How difficult would it be to put numbers on each option?
I would take just one instance, like I wouldn't do county general, but I would pick one of the smaller ones that we have a rate against and do it.
Is that something that Todd Samuelson could help with?
That's where I was
I would think that
that's exactly
UMBA's
where I was going with Paula. I would rather hear like UMBA's, you don't have to spend $1 zillion on this, just give them a fund and say, what is.
We have our numbers, just a
Yeah.
matter of, I mean, I guess I would like to see what each option is gonna cost.
Yep.
The cause and effect of choosing an option.
Because I sat there and listened to her read through there, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm glad you guys have to decide, because I would have no idea after hearing those options.
Well, I personally would like to see the third one not even be considered,
I'm with you.
because you got all the caps on property taxes on homes. Already went in place a couple, 3, 4 years ago, and so now the businesses are picking up the tab. And that's creeping on business property taxes.
And see, just listening to her go through that, I went with option 3. So I think it just points out that we need more information on this thing.
I agree wholeheartedly, but what happens if we don't adopt it by November 1st? The state picks one?
It doesn't say that. It just-
It says work on the county's budget order will be on hold until the information is submitted.
It's on hold right now until we get TIF neutralizations anyway, so we're on hold as we speak.
And that just means that we won't receive our distributions,
Right.
which could mean then that the schools don't receive money, you know what I mean? It's all, but like Jen said, we already have time because there are other things that are required that we don't have yet.
Right, and they're not holding any funds right now.
No, you're not gonna hold any funds, and the 1782s aren't gonna come out until February anyway. All I'm saying is I think you have at least till December 1st, at least, and I think you should take advantage of that time and try to get a number person to put, I think you need numbers, I really do.
Good. General consensus with the council members that we table this until we have additional information?
That's my opinion. Get a hold of them laws to tell us what this means to us in numbers.
Yeah, we don't wanna be shooting in the dark.
So is everybody else kind of in agreement that we could have on-balls look at this?
Yes.
We don't use them very often, and since there's no history here. And he's also really good about educating us while he's going through it too, as to, you know, what this means and how to handle it in the future.
General consensus?
You know, at home, I'm on UMBA's email list. They give you some really neat subjects and talk about things, and this thing has never come up. That's why I'm dumbfounded by it, so.
So Jen, can you contact him right away?
Well, when I get back upstairs, I have some other stuff going on. I'm already talking, they do the TIF neutralization for redevelopment, so they have that in there right now.
And instead of getting one fund, I'd like to see a bigger picture come back for this. Because you can pick the wrong fund and have,
Yeah, I wouldn't do like the building lease, that's only 2 payments a year.
yeah, I'd like to see the bigger picture, and they can come up with it, because you have those numbers,
Right.
pretty much.
Any other comments? Next on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the September 5th meeting.
I move we approve the minutes as submitted.
Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by your right hand. Those opposed, the same. Commissioners report.
Well,